Hello everyone, welcome to the intuitive card reading for the collective for March 25th through 31st. What announcements do I have? Just the usual. Please like this video, please share it with someone who needs to hear the energies of the week. What else? Subscribe to this channel, yes, please. If you've watched this video or this video or any of my other videos, you might as well subscribe to the channel because then you can get you can hit the notification bell and you can get notifications of new videos. So, and at this moment we are doing the weekly and the monthlies, and we are coming up to a new month. So please subscribe to the channel so you can be notified of any new, the new monthly that will be coming out. I'm not sure when. It's raining here again, shocker, in New York, so I apologize if you guys hear the rain hitting the window. Okay, that's it, guys. Same decks, different order, same spread, same order. Okay, let's begin, guys. Let's start with what we need. Exhilaration. Okay, so this is gosh, bendy. This deck is always bendy. Okay, exhilaration. So doing something exciting, doing something that heightens the senses. How else do I say this? Things that light you up. And I don't mean, yes, it could be things that really find, purpose, passion, that kind of thing, but things that are kind of exciting, like almost more in the direction of getting your adrenaline pumping. Obviously within reason, like for example, I don't like roller coasters. I'm not going to go and get on a roller coaster this week, that kind of thing. But there needs to be some type of excitement, something that gets you excited, something that gets you out of bed this week, that really needs to be front and center. So not too much more to say there, but it's just pretty much, what excites you, of course could be what, you find purpose in, that could excite you, what you find passion in. But again, more so, do more of the basics. It doesn't have to be super elaborate. It's just something that really excites you and brings you that, get your adrenaline pumping, basically. Okay, what is the action needed? Okay, athlete, light dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower, and shut the spirit. Okay, so this is about willpower and going the distance, pushing through limitations, being the best at what you're doing. So I definitely do feel like this is, motivational energy, ambitious energy that's kind of coming through, and the fact that it's under action needed is spirit saying chop chop. This is kind of the week to, especially those that have been procrastinating. I think we got a couple of messages about procrastinating lately. This is coming on really strong, saying like, all right, maybe you could have gotten away with it the last few weeks, but the energy is definitely going to change this week, and we need to really start going the distance and putting our willpower and our dedication and our devotion into something. Again, it's next to the, what excites us, what lights us up, what gets our adrenaline pumping, what, gets us out of bed, that kind of thing. So definitely linked to that. Could be two separate things. Again, it'll be different for everybody. This is reading for the collective, so it might manifest differently. Oh yeah, I forgot to say this in the beginning. However it resonates with you guys, just put it down below in the comments. And again, always welcome feedback as long as we're kind, okay? So athlete is kind of, about going the distance, getting out there, moving, and the fact that it's actually under an action needed is saying like, universe is saying, let's move your butt, okay? Okay, so let's see what the issue is. And let's see what the rest of the reading is. I'll be honest, I'm not necessarily getting any type of, I think you guys have heard me kind of explain it before. Sometimes I explain energy as like action versus inaction. So I'm not getting anyone in particular. Obviously the athlete card comes with an action oriented type feeling. But I'm not necessarily getting that for like the entire week. Sometimes I'm not getting necessarily it's going to be super busy, super sociable, for example, that requires doing, super masculine, getting tasks done. But spirit is saying we do need to kind of get a move on things. Okay, issue, we have blessed. Okay, so this to me is about gratitude. This is about looking on the bright side of things. This is about seeing how, counting your blessings, like that kind of thing. So the fact that it's under issue. So this to me almost brings up this feeling of like a little bit of a pessimistic attitude. So that's under issue. So it's telling me, okay, that might be an issue this week. So it might not be our normal optimistic selves or lean that way, at least this week. So we're going to kind of have to battle those demons a little bit. Maybe some more, also to not just pessimistic, but maybe in lack, thinking about what you don't have and not necessarily counting your blessings. So it's really, really important to try to practice gratitude as best you can. But again, it's under issue, so we are going to have issues with that this week. Let's see what's under challenge here. Connect with your emotions. Okay, we're not, so far it feels like not the best week emotionally, because the connect with your emotions is and again, it's under challenge. This is basically what, not all cards are literal, but this one is kind of coming through pretty literal, where it's saying, really connect to your emotions, feel your emotions, process them, etc., the whole cycle. We're having issues with that. Okay, we're having a challenge. Okay, so something, you might have been dealing with something for a long time that you're just having a hard time processing, or just something could happen in the moment this week where you're just having a hard time kind of just processing it, or really being able to hold the space for your feelings. And again, it doesn't necessarily feel like it's because so many, other things are kind of happening this week. No, I'm sorry, let me retract that. It's not so much that you're so busy that you can't necessarily do these things. It feels like obstacles beyond that. An obstacle would potentially be this athlete, since we're in the same row here, where, we're really kind of focusing more on, do I want to say treating ourselves, finding that exhilaration, like we're trying to fulfill this need that we have. And we're kind of starting to neglect like the rest of the areas. Like it's basically saying like, okay, well, I'll process this particular thing next week. Because that's what it feels like. It feels like we're just kind of pushing it off, because we're kind of making room for other things. So let's keep going to see what maybe those other things are. But again, I have a feeling one of them might be because of that particular need that we have, and the actions that we're taking, right? Okay, so let's see. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Again, if it doesn't, comments down below. I'm so happy to answer them for you. Awe, ecstasy. Okay, so makes sense from this first one here. Awe, ecstasy is wonder, awe. Honestly, very similar to not necessarily the card, but the energy coming off of the card. Pleasure, bliss, enlightenment. We're chasing, we're not, well, I don't want to say chasing, because that kind of almost has like a negative connotation to it. We are in desperate need of it, okay? And the fact that it's under saying that the Spirit is saying, yes, we need it, because this similar energy is under change, makes me feel like we're going to achieve it, okay? And so we're going to find that. So we're really putting our own pleasures and what we need, we're putting our needs ahead, right? And so, and I don't mean emotional needs, right? That's not what I mean. Because like I said, the challenge here is this week is actually being able to process that, feel your feelings, etc. Our need for excitement, our need for exhilaration, our need for something exciting, our need for passion, our need for bliss, etc., is above all of these different things that we are having issues and challenges with. So, but this tells me that because it's under change, is that we're going to fulfill it. So, what an interesting week. Full of pleasures. And guys, I'm going to call it now. There is a card in the archetype I can't speak. There is a card in the archetype deck, and it's called Hedonist. Okay, I am going to be not surprised if it comes up in the rest of the reading, because that's also very similar type energy. It's like that. It's like we're pleasure seeking, we're novelty seeking, that kind of thing. So I'm calling it now. Let's see what comes up. I'm actually going to pull from that deck now, but I would not be surprised if that came through. All right, so it's kind of that energy. Okay, so I think you guys understand what I mean by that. So let's move on. Focus. Okay, not the Hedonist card. It's the Judge. Balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. Okay, so I am feeling this. This makes sense to me because Judge is about fairness. It's about balancing the scales. It's about not taking one side over the other, and it's about balance in general. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm not getting any feelings about, oh, it's a huge doing and masculine type week, or, or the opposite, the polarity of that is the feminine and the being. I'm actually not getting any of that. And it looks like because there's an equilibrium kind of happening. There's a balance that is happening, and we're being able to balance it. So, my intuition was right in the very beginning, where I'm like, no, listen, even though the athlete is like a really, high-powered card, where it's really a doing card, it's really an action-oriented card, and it's under the action-needed slot there. It doesn't feel like it's a super busy week, a super masculine week. We do such a great job of focusing our balance this week that it doesn't feel like we're overwhelmed. We're balancing our pleasure with work, basically. That's kind of what it is, right? Is because we're, we are seeking novelty, and we are also getting stuff done. So, I mean, that is what life is all about. It's, work, pleasure, right? And so we're balancing that scale, which is great. Reflect. What do we have to reflect on? Chaos and conflict. Okay. One thing that when I pulled this right away, don't be scared, guys, because sometimes this card is a little, shall I say, chaotic, but it definitely does feel like this is something in the past, okay? Like, you guys know I read intuitively. It feels like we're reflecting on something that was chaotic in the past, which to me is a positive, because it's saying it's behind us. So, so it feels like a calm week, okay? We haven't got any peace or inner calm cards yet, but it's almost kind of alluding to that in a way, where it's saying kind of reflect on maybe something chaotic that we just came out of, to kind of reflect, we introspect, we try to figure out what the soul lessons that we learned, etc., etc. So just kind of reflect on that, and again, positive news, because it almost is alluding that it's behind us. So that's great. Responsibilities. What do we got going on? Stargazer, set your sights higher. Okay, so you're responsible for going beyond your potential, or at least living up to your potential, seeing things bigger. You're playing too small. And so your responsibilities are to think a little bit bigger. And so maybe an example would be, maybe you are wanting to open a food truck, because that's part of the action needed. Maybe you need to get permits, et cetera, et cetera. You need to kind of get that done, get all the logistics done. But you want to open a food truck, but maybe something kind of happens this week where, Spirit is asking us to really tap more into a bigger picture and more of our potential. And maybe it's a restaurant, and you have to go for the actual restaurant, because that's really what you truly want, because that's really what excites you, and that's more of your potential, is running an entire restaurant. Obviously there's more responsibilities with that, but that's basically what it's saying. It's saying you're thinking too small, it's time to think bigger, is what the Stargazer is all about. So okay, money, finances, and career. I know we had very much abundance type of energy coming through here. So we have generosity. Okay, great. So yay. Okay, so this means that I feel it coming to us, a receiving type energy. Okay, so this is basically saying that people are going to be generous when it comes to money, finances, and career. I'm getting this intuitively, and again, I read for the collective, so it might not be everybody, but it's almost like if somebody that you've maybe helped out before in the past or something like that, somebody wants to be extra generous and maybe not only pay back the money they owe you, but pay back interest as well, or something like that. So I definitely do feel like there is this generous spirit. It's almost like people want to give you money, people want to give you the promotion, people want to give you the job, people, a very generous spirit. They don't, and when I think of generosity, I think they don't have to do it. It's just from their heart. They believe in you. They know you'll pay them back, or, whatever, they know you have integrity, will pay them back, whatever it is. But people are extra generous with their pocketbooks this week. Maybe you do own a food truck already or a restaurant, and people are extra tipping this week. And maybe sometimes you bartend, and, you're noticing this week people are extra generous or something along those lines. So again, will be different for everybody, but I would say this is in the category of abundance as well. Surprise, surprise, guide represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. Okay, so being a guide. So This one here, I felt the energy coming to us in a receiving way. This one, it's an outward way. Okay, and that's usually kind of how I read it too, because I'm reading for you, not necessarily what's necessarily happening to you or for you, we could say. But this is really, how do I say this? You guiding somebody maybe close to the mentor type archetype or energy, but showing somebody the ropes, showing somebody around. It is next to money and finances, so I'm getting a little bit piggybacking off of that maybe you're training somebody at work, or you're showing somebody, maybe you have your own business and you're showing somebody like how you particularly did something, because that generosity spirit maybe can bleed into that a little bit, can mesh into that a little bit, but you're guiding somebody. So it definitely could be a mentor kind of situation. Could also be a parenting situation, because I see parents as guides. So this could be a really, and the fact, okay, so it's under surprise. So it could be something, I'm not trying to say I'm surprised you guys are, good, quote unquote, good parents, or, or the opposite. But it's a good week. It's a positive week for parenting and mentorship in that way. And it comes as a surprise, maybe because it came out of left field, maybe because you feel like you've been failing a little bit the last few weeks in this area or something like that. So it definitely does feel like a mentor guide situation, and you're doing really well, but it might come kind of out of left field, or something that it just surprises you in general for the week. Okay. Let's see with friends, all that glitters. Yay. Okay. So this could usually have like a few different meanings. This is very similar to the milk and honey card that we have in this deck, where you can interpret it a couple of different ways. But for me, all that glitters coming up now is basically like more similar to this exhilaration type energy, and kind of piggybacking off of that, meaning that things are shiny again. Things are, they are what they appear. Because sometimes this comes through and it's like, all that glitters is not gold, but it's basically saying like it doesn't matter the outcome. Well, let me see if I can explain this correctly. It doesn't matter the outcome. You just need to chase the shiny thing. Okay, you just need to go to the shiny things. And by the way, I don't know if I'm going to make this more confusing or not, but I talk a lot over the years about shiny object syndrome. And if you guys don't know what that is, that's basically, and by the way, I think I do, I've never been diagnosed, but I feel like I do have ADHD, and I know a lot of people out there can resonate with this as well. And so you have a shiny object, and you kind of, ooh, shiny object, ooh, shiny object, ooh, shiny object, right? And then we never necessarily complete tasks. So I could see how that's negative, but as with everything, it has a light and a shadow. So to me, this feels like Spirit is asking us to be going after the shiny objects, because it's saying we need that exhilaration. We need that ecstasy. We need that pleasure. We need that novelty. We need to kind of go after the shiny object. And it's funny, I think that looks like a dog, right? Yeah, that's a dog. I think about a dog sometimes, because a dog, it's like a short attention span. Like the dog will see, this toy, this toy, this toy, and they get like really excited. They don't know what to play with first, like that kind of thing. That's the energy that I'm getting from this as well. And then those two cards up there, the awe, ecstasy, the exhilaration, now the all that glitters. So it's basically saying, go to the shiny object, okay? This isn't about completing things. This isn't about the outcome. This is about in the moment, being present, and fulfilling your needs, whatever that might be. Okay, so that's what that's about. The fact that it's under friends tells me it's not a bad idea to do it in a social setting. It's not a bad idea to bring a friend along. It's not a bad idea to say yes to a friend that has an adventure that is exciting, and you can make all the excuses you want. Obviously, do whatever, feels best to you, follow your intuition, etc., etc. I always have to put that disclaimer, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to follow the shiny object, follow that one friend that always asks you to go on a zany adventure. Maybe this week is the week, okay? And obviously this goes into the weekend. So, And we do have a holiday this weekend. That's right. In America, we have a holiday. So maybe some of you guys have a 3-day weekend out there. So, just, dot, dot, dot. So think about it. That might have something to do with it. But I love that. Basically, Spirit is saying, chase this shiny object. Okay? Okay. Romantic connection. Let's see what we got going on here. White Witch, be the light. Okay. That's interesting, but doesn't surprise me because White Witch is always about be the light, seeing things more positively. And I think it's interesting that the issue up here is the blast, where we're not seeing things very positive. We're not seeing our, how far we've come, how grateful we are. There's definitely this pessimistic type of attitude that might get in the way. So Spirit is saying, if you can muster up any positivity, make sure it's towards your romantic connections and your romantic love life. Okay. So, try your best to stay positive in that area if you can't necessarily find the positive in, any other area. It's basically what Spirit is saying. Let's see what's important. Power. Yes, power is always important. Power card right here. So basically this is about finding your personal power, feeling empowered. So I definitely do feel that feeling, but it's not necessarily overbearing. And what I mean by that is that basically, I'm just going to say it like this. Let me just say it like this. You are in control. Like it feels like, and now it's making sense from what I said in the very beginning as well. Like it's continuously validating like what I was feeling. It's like you've got this calm type energy, this very balanced type energy that even though all of these different things are happening this week, you have a way that you're in control of everything without being erratic, without being reactive, without necessarily being disempowered. So it's almost like, I think I'm going to use the phrase quiet empowered. I know people sometimes use like quiet confidence, and maybe that could fit here too. But maybe you can, it just feels like you finally, after a long time, just feel like you have everything kind of like under control, and there's like not necessarily so much chaos happening, right? Because we do have that chaos and conflict, which again kind of reflects back to the past. Okay, so definitely does feel like we're not necessarily putting out fires like we used to anymore, or like it feels like a calm week where we do feel balanced right off the gate. The fact that this balance came through the focus instead of anywhere up here where we need it. We need to take action on getting balance. We have an issue with balance. We have a challenge with balance. No, we need to just focus on it. It's just a focus this week. And so to me, that says something. That says it's just naturally there for the first time in a really long time. And so that's really great. So we kind of have this quiet confidence, this power that, again, makes us feel empowered, but it's not necessarily flashy or overdone or anything along those lines. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys, but I think it's important to not only understand that, but really kind of practice it this week. Health and wellness. We have Angel. Okay, so this is helping those in need with no expectation of return. Okay, so this is about not necessarily giving back, but giving your time, giving your expertise, helping somebody in need. And it doesn't, I'll be honest with you guys, it doesn't feel like a big chunk of the week. So it might be just like a person that maybe needs advice about, a health issue that you've gone through, or it might be somebody. So basically Spirit is saying like, answer the DMs, or, make the space for it, because it's not going to take up too much time. If you have a second, maybe, again, it is a holiday, so I think sometimes people try to volunteer more, example, like around the holidays, so you might want to give back in that way, just from a pure state of wanting to help and, coming from the heart space. So it's not necessarily, it might be coming off of, it's underneath the generosity, right? Because people are so generous with us and we've received so much, we want to kind of give back. So it makes sense that kind of came up. And the fact that it came under health and wellness, yes, it feels like it's more in that category. So maybe you might volunteer for, a suicide hotline, or, oh gosh, I don't think I could say that word on YouTube, right? Sorry, unalived hotline. or a, I'm not going to give any more examples because I'm going to keep getting in trouble, but I think you guys understand what I mean. So let's move on. Overall outcome. Let's see, guys. What do we got going on? Breathe. Okay, so this is, did we get this last time in the overall outcome or somewhere maybe in the spread? But you guys know breathe means pause, means stay present, means breathe, take a second. And so I'm not surprised because, like I said, I definitely do feel like we have a balance. But to me, it feels more like being more present. And that's what it feels like to me, is enjoying the moment, right? I think a lot of, I'm not going to, keep repeating myself, but these, I love that they're in the corners, right? Look at that. So great. Where it's saying that it's basically saying like enjoy your being, enjoy your break, enjoy your presence, enjoy the presence of other people, enjoy adventure, enjoy awe, enjoy ecstasy. Okay, I can't say it enough. So I think at the end of the day, this is pretty much saying like your week is about being present. You're not rushing through anything, but still getting things done, right? It's not like we're not doing anything. It's just we're doing it in a way that's really balanced, where we're staying present and starting to get things done. So, okay, that's it, guys. This is a positive week. I started kind of trying to label things as like red flags, green flags, that kind of thing, but I see a lot of green flags. The issues and challenges I think our biggest issue this week is just kind of like battling pessimism. To be honest with you, that seems like the biggest issue, and it doesn't even feel that major. And at least it's not going to affect our romantic connection. So, like I don't even somebody is like that's pretty, a sentient being as an empath and really connected to my emotions. The challenge, it just feels like it's being brushed off until like next week. It doesn't feel like we're, bottling up emotions or anything like that. It just feels like we're not processing it, and we're processing it at a different time because we have other things going on. So that's not even a negative thing, okay? I wouldn't even put that in like the shadow end of things, right? So to me, it just feels like we're battling pessimism as like our biggest red flag. So if that's the biggest thing we have to deal with, it's a positive week, okay? So, all right, guys. Love you all, and I'll see you next week, and watch out for the monthly, okay? Have a great week. Bye.